Good morning, Facebook. Yeah, it's Gerry coming to you today from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. I want to tell you a little bit about Rythmia before we get into what we're going to talk about today. So Rythmia is a life advancement center, and it really is a life advancement center focused on plant medicine, metaphysical teachings, yoga, and a couple other things. Hey, Sydney. And hey, Jen. And what makes Rythmia so special is basically 95 out of every 100 people that come here leave stating they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. 95 out of 100 people leave stating that they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. That's pretty wild, right? In addition to that, the 5% of people that don't, 4 and change percent, say that it was the greatest week they've ever spent. Even though they didn't get the miracle, they want to come back and do all those things. So we really have something cooking here. And today I want to talk about that miracle. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Rick. I want to talk about this today. Really want to talk about what I've discovered since this coronavirus thing and what I've been looking at and focusing on. So let's just talk about the virus. This is update number 5. I want to tell you this. Like I said in the first one, it's going to be over before you know it, which miraculously is coming to a head. Over before you know it. Do not miss the lesson within it. And I promise you this, there will be a time in the next 6 months that you're going to wish you were back in your house, wish you were going through the coronavirus thing, wish you had time to be alone, wish you had time to be with yourself, and I swear to you, if you didn't do the right thing here, you're going to go back and wish you had a second chance at it, because this is a real chance. A little bit more about the coronavirus. From day one, I guessed, called a swag, a scientific wild-ass guess. I guessed about a 17% infection rate, and about a 0.3% mortality rate, but that included accelerated mortality. So that it included accelerated death rate, people that were just hanging on. So it's really hard to get to that number. If those numbers turn out to be somewhat true, it's more akin to a really bad flu. Really bad flu. Now, the gift in it is it allowed us to be alone. And this is the real gift. It allowed us to be alone. And so what do I mean that it allowed us to be alone? It allowed us to be with ourselves. So let's talk about this. Number 1, it's going to be over before you know it. Fact. Number 2, you're going to look back at this and wish you had this time again. So number 3, let's make the most of the rest of this fucking thing. Let's make the most of it from this day forward. Really make the most of it. And I want to talk about that in a second. Do me a favor, because Facebook changed the rules again. Please, I want this to be my most shared one ever. You see, we can't get this word out unless you share it. Do me a favor. Take a second and hit share. At any time in this broadcast, because other people need to hear this. There's a lot of people that are looking at this whole thing the wrong way. They're looking at it, and here's the problem. The people who are complaining about being in it are going to be the same ones complaining about when it's gone. I swear to you, catch this. The people who are complaining about being in it will be the same ones who complain after it's gone, because they miss it. You see, when you're complaining about it, you're not looking at yourself. And then when you're out of it and you're complaining that it's not here, you're not looking at yourself. It always gets back to the same thing, not looking at yourself. So do me a favor and press share. So I want to talk about this. So I've really been looking at the workings of Rythmia. Rythmia has become the number 1 consumer-rated resort in the world of any type on TripAdvisor. Yep. Rythmia is the world's number 1 customer consumer-rated resort in the whole world. That's against Waldorf Astoria, Four Seasons, Ritz-Carltons, all these fancy schmancy shit. Rythmia, the number 1 rated. not on 10 people. Over 1,000 people have left this rating for us. It's number one. Now, like any diligent custodian, I'm not looking at the things. What I started looking at while I was in this quarantine, what I really started looking at is this statistic. After 6 months that people are here, they get an email. And that email asks them if the miracle is still working in their life. 97.55% say yes, that miracle is still working in their life. But that means 2.5% had that miracle happen here, went home, and something happened. 2.5 out of 100. And I did a journey, and I got stuck into this 2.5. Who are this 2.5, and how does this happen? Now, whether you've never done plant medicine before, you've done a lot of it, please tune into this, because it's about life. So what happens? People get here, they drink the medicine, and the mother tells them the truth. What is that truth? Well, the truth is that you're beautiful. The truth is that all of these good things have been prepared for you, not in heaven, but on earth. Wait, what did you say? Yep. That you're really unique, and that there's been a bounty prepared for you on earth. On earth. And this isn't like fundamental Christianity or Catholic, although that's in it, it's in it. This is really what the mother says to people that come here and drink the medicine. You see, they were confused, and the medicine clears them up and says, okay, you have been here. You're a child of the universe. You have the same rights to be here as every other beautiful living creature. You're unique. You're gifted. Everything has been prepared for you. This is your life, and boom, here it is. That's what the medicine does. But the medicine is the mother. The medicine, 2 years later, still working. Thank you, sweetheart. You will be open for July 19th. I'll do everything in my power to. Yeah, but this has all been prepared for you. The mother shows you. And then all of a sudden, the mother tells you, you're going to go home. And these things are going to happen in your life. Now, 97.55% of these people have this experience, but the 2.5 that doesn't. And I speak to the 2.5 that get shown this and go home, and after they're home it doesn't work. That's 2.5 out of 100. I talk to them, and I have it figured out. They always say the same thing to me. They say this. They say, the mother told me all these things would happen. I went home and it didn't work. Hey, from Scranton. I went home and it didn't work out. So I say to them, what did you do to make it work out? And they said, nothing. And I said, nothing? How could you possibly say nothing? Because this is how this works. The mother energy is the mother. What does your mother tell you? What does a good mother tell her little boy or tell her little girl? They say to their little boy and they say to their little girl, you're beautiful, you're great, you have a wonderful heart, you have anything that you've ever wanted. If you work for it, it's all yours. This bounty has been prepared for you that is life. Now go get it. The mother's eye is so pure, she can see no inequity. She can see nothing wrong. So she tells you the truth, the beautiful truth about you. And now you go home, and you're on earth. Now what does the father say? What does your father say? Pick up your socks. Fucking close the door. Go clean up the garage. Go do this. Go do that. Go do this. Because we need both of them in order to make this happen. In order to make the mother's vision manifest on earth, we need both. If you think the mother can do this without the father, you haven't been listening. If you think the father can do this without the mother, you haven't been listening. So now, all of a sudden, we go home and we're confronted The mother is vision and the father is action. The mother is vision and the father is action. So how, hey Sandra, love you too. The mother is vision and the father is action. So, what happens? So we go home and now we have to anchor the heavenly vision on earth. And how do we do this? 97.55% of the people that have been here are good at it. They go home and the medicine told them, you're going to meet the most beautiful guy. You're going to get the greatest job. You're going to find a new career. You're going to do this. And what do they go? They go home and they start looking for the things the mother told them they would get. Now, do they look in their house? No. They get out. See? The mother is visionary and the father is participatory. The mother is visionary and the father is participatory. So now, here's the thing. Is this easy? No fucking way. None of this is easy. Not one of this is, now one piece of this is easy. This is all hard stuff. This is all hard stuff. And if it was easy, everybody would be slam dunking it, right? The medicine shows us how to do it. She says, daughter, you're gorgeous. Daughter, you're perfect. Daughter, you're this. Daughter, you're that. And now you go home and now you have to fill those shoes. You have to be that. This is the hard part, is the being that. It's only as hard as you make it. Once you say, I'm going to meet this halfway, the medicine did half the work, I'm going to do the other half. That is the mother meeting the father in the middle. That is the mother meeting the father in the middle. That's what the medicine's asking you to do, is to meet in the middle. Those who meet in the middle are forever okay. And those who don't are just faced with the same problem, and it's very frustrating. The 2.5% that had it here and then lose it have a really frustrating time. They're right back. They're one of the first people to come back. Why do they have a frustrating time? Because they've been told by God that they were going to get all this, and something happened. They were never told by God that before. And now they were told God that they were going to get all this, and something happened. Something happened, so now they're sad. And I want to get them right back because they missed a piece of the puzzle. You see, the mother and the father are like wheels of a bicycle. The vision and the action are like wheels of a bicycle. One without the other is no good. One without the other will not work. You need both. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. This is the divine. If you put divine masculinity with divine femininity, you get out of the park results. Out of the park results. And when I talk about the masculine, I don't mean shaming or fighting or bullying or any of that shit. What I mean is that good masculinity, that showing up, taking action, participating, being in it. That is the masculinity I'm talking about. So what does this even mean to you? Well, I'm going to tell you something. What you've been told your whole life is true. Anything that you can possibly manifest or picture, you have the ability of taking in, because nothing can live outside of you. But you have to do it. You have to meet it. You have to have action towards it, right? And then people talk about being in flow. It's real easy to be in flow after your house is built. See, the good times come after the work. What do I mean by that? So in other words, let's go back into the jungle and we had to build our own houses. Fucking building your own house is hard. Carrying the wood, tying it together, creating the thatch, da-da-da-da-da. Once it's done, we're in flow. Once it's done, we have a place to rest. Once it's done, we have a roof over our head. Once it's done, we can sit back in awe in its glory. While it's being done, it's work. Anybody who tries to shortcut that fucks themselves. What do they wind up? They wind up alone in the jungle. They die alone in the jungle. Because anybody who can tells you you can do this without work and without participating is a liar. Is a liar. The only way you can do that is to rob it from someone else. That's the only way. Let someone else build it and you take it by force. You have to do the work. So now here's where it gets interesting. Doing the work is where the joy is. What? Yep. Doing the work is where the joy is. So what do I mean by that? Once you get used to it, it's a big conversation you have to have with yourself. You have to say, hey, let me be honest with myself. Have I been doing the work? No. What have I been trying to do? There's a song by Van Halen, working so hard to make it easy. Trying to find a shortcut. But when you catch yourself having done it and you say, fuck it, there's only one way to go. There's only one way to go. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. And then if you're in the heart-centered vocation, then all of a sudden you start enjoying it. If you ever listen to somebody who really is in it, super successful guy that made a fortune, you know what they usually say? I would do this fucking shit for free. They think it's a big joke because they're getting paid outlandish money to do something they would do for free. That's the lesson in the lesson. That is the lesson in the lesson, right? They would do it for free. And if you would do it for free, you're going to get paid a shit ton of money because you're going to like it. You're going to be in service. And once you like it, once you're in service, what happens next? Yeah, that's right. You get great at it. Great at it. Not good at it. Great at it. And when you're great at it, guess what happens? It gets even more fun. So, for the people that are healers, which you all are, you're all healers. You're all here to help each other out. You're all here to participate. Holy God, you want to have fun? Have fun doing this thing, helping your brothers and sisters and really giving. Saying, you know what? I don't give a fuck if I make $1 or a donut or nothing or $1 trillion. I don't care. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it for what that person experiences as a result of my presence in their life. I'm going to do it for what that person experiences as a result of my presence in their life. And then all of a sudden, in that moment, you get lost in something you haven't felt since you're a little kid. Contentment, joy, fulfillment. Oh, wow. And it happens at the same second. At that same second. And then you get the aha of what the fuck? Holy shit, this is the answer? This is how simple it was? And here I was running around in circles and circles and circles trying to find the thing that I already had right here. It didn't cost me a thing. I didn't have to do a thing. All I had to do was share my gifts. That's all I had to do is share my gifts. And that thing is, the thing that I'm sharing is my own reward. I don't need anything else. I don't need a thing. And when you don't need a thing, guess what? Everybody gives you shit. When you don't need a thing, everybody gives you shit. Here's a car, here's a this, here's a that, here's a this, here's a meal, here's a this. I don't need it, and it keeps a coming and a coming and a coming. That is the trick. That is the trick. So, and I want to get back to this thing. So if you're one of the two, call it one, it's 2.5 out of 100. So 2.5 people out of 100 that went home and waited for the thing to show up at your door. Let that be your lesson. You were shown by God your bounty. And when I talk about bounty, I don't mean big cigars and fancy cars and shit like that. I mean the bounty of the fulfillment of your life. The bounty of contentment. The bounty of flow. The bounty of joy. If you were shown that and you got home and you sat on your couch and you ate some fucking processed food and waited for it to happen, you're going to be waiting a long fucking time. A real fucking long time. And I'm going to tell you what, the longer you wait, the longer you're going to wait. Because it's not coming to you. It is you. It is you. You can't, it's not outside, it is you. So here's something that I really, 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 really like about discovery versus creation. A lot of people sit around waiting to discover who they are. You know what they discover? They're a person waiting around, waiting to discover. That's it. There is no such thing as discover. There's such a thing as create. That's the only thing there is. There's not discovery. There's creation. So in this second, you are creating you. Create fulfillment. Create joy. Create well-being. Create optimum health. Create all of the good that's good. And you do that within you. You don't need a fucking thing. You don't need a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a dog, a cat, that's all shit is in you. It's the most beautiful shit in the world. It is in you. So, out of fucking discovery into creation. Because whether you know it or not, you're creating, you're not discovering. So don't create somebody who don't create a doubting Thomas. Don't create someone who's looking at the whole world as if it's being done to them. Fuck, because you'll get that. And who the fuck needs that? Who needs fucking 58 conspiracies? Fucking not me. I need joy. I need contentment. I need love. I need all of the things that I can do to make this time on earth. I can tell you something. I do not want to die and say, thank God, I fucking waited for this day. Thank God. I want to die saying, oh my God, I loved every inch of this life. I had a beautiful life. I had a lifetime that I won't forget for 1,000 lifetimes. I had a lifetime where I touched so many lives. I had a lifetime where I created so much fucking joy. And you know what? In creating that joy, I was filled with joy and filled with love. This is life. This is real. This is real. I know so many people who are just fucking waiting to die, and some of them are fucking in their 30s. You know, what the fuck? This is it. Joy, beauty, fulfillment, participation, community. Love. I want to be a part of the thing. I'm dying to be a part of the thing. Dying. It gives me great, great, great joy. So, what am I talking about? So, 2 parts of joy. Creation and action. Creation and action. People come to Rythmia. A lot of them are full of the masculine energy. They're people that can, afford to do this and afford to do that, and they need to see the mother. They need to see the unconditional love of the universe. And that is always there. Think of it as a line. Above the line, there's nothing but unconditional love. There's nothing but pure acceptance. There's nothing but pure joy. And what we're trying to do is anchor that and bring it down here to share that with others. So look, you've been lucky enough, or you're coming here or whatever, you're coming to experience that heaven on earth. You've been lucky enough or been called to drink something that removes your earthliness and all of a sudden exposes you to the astrals, and you get to know that love. That's no good unless you can bring it down for other people who can't do that. To feel it, to see it, to share it, to be a part of it. That's your job. And what a great fucking job. What a beautiful, beautiful, delightful, joyous, incredible job that is. To be able to do that. To be able to be in a place that does it. To be able to walk through life with that knowledge. Now I tell you, let's talk about the 2.5% that don't get it. The benefit that they have is they're no longer afraid of death. So if they come here, they get to see the vision, they know where their soul goes, and they come back and they didn't receive the bounty that they've been promised because they didn't do anything about it, well, at least they're no longer afraid of death. They're no longer afraid of death, which is a great thing, right? So they get something huge out of it. But why not get the whole thing? Well, here's the thing. What keeps most of us from getting the whole thing is we believe that we're not good enough. And the medicine takes care of that. So I'm basically saying this. Once you leave these doors, you have no fucking excuse. You have no excuse to not get the whole enchilada. As they said in one of my favorite movies, Jerry Maguire, The Quan. You have no excuse to not have the Quan. I want you to have the Quan. I want you to come to Rythmia, and I'm going to tell you this. This coronavirus is going to be over before you know it, and I mean over. It's almost over now. Don't miss it. And I'm going to tell you, when people come out of this, they're going to re-change how they look at their own lives. And things that weren't important before are going to become important. You're not going to be able to get in here. So get on the phone, get in here now, and I will see you at Rythmia. I love that. Hey, Donna, good to see you. I will see you guys at Rythmia. God love you, God bless you, God hold you, and I cannot wait to see you here. I can't wait to touch you, to share with you. I don't mean to touch, I mean to hug you, and I will fucking hug you because this coronavirus is largely in here. So I want you, show me the money, Jeremy, I'm with you. I want you, that's from Jerry Maguire, that's one of my favorite things, the Quan. I even have it tattooed in here, the Quan. I love the stuff. I want you to come to Rythmia. God bless you, God keep you, God hold you. Until next week, I will see you guys. We're almost out. We're almost through. It's almost over. Keep the faith. I love you. Cheers.